Can you tell us a bit about yourself?
I would love to. First of all, thank you for having me today. And a bit about myself is I do a lot of different things to expand my expertise, my mind, and also, drag my mentality in different ways and my emotions in order to learn how to deal with a lot of things. So right now I go to School of Business. I'm a real estate agent and I'm starting a career of acting, singing, modeling, and of course writing my book and writing different songs.
Okay, so when you motivate others, because I know that you're passionate about helping others and motivating them, do you specifically motivate people in those fields of interest to you?
Well, you see, from the different fields that I've been in and the different experiences that I've gone through, each of them has a variety of things that happens to me, and I put myself specifically in situations that allow me to better myself. I find my problem and then I try to find a solution to that. And I would have to say that no, all these fields, I try to motivate individuals in every single way possible. I connect things very quickly, and there are a lot of similarities between the fields. Once you're in a lot of these different things, you start finding a pattern of what people are going through or need motivation in, and then you learn how to, tell people, and well, not tell, you specifically show people these different roads, these pathways they can take. What motivation is about is you open up people's minds to the possibilities of how they can improve themselves or expand themselves, and that it's not just a straight road, that they don't just have to go forward, but they could do a lot of different things. It's about getting people to be the best they can be and realize themselves, learn about themselves more, rather than specifically telling them what to do in specific fields. It's not specific.
Okay, so you like to teach them about how to motivate themselves based on how you've motivated yourself, and you specifically use the word show. So you like to show them how to motivate themselves. Mm-hmm. So what kind of imagery do you use, or what kind of tools do you use to help them to see it, or to show them and guide them? How do you do that?
Okay, well, I started showing my story basically through social media of everything I do. And then when I meet up with the people, they either already know what I do, or I start telling them about myself and what I do, and I'm just genuine about it, right? You just have to tell the truth of what you went through and how you dealt with different things. For example, I dealt a lot with my vocal problem. So there was a period of time where I wasn't able to sing for 4 years at all, and that took a lot of kind of mental damage on me, you could say, in a way, because I started feeling like depressed, like I couldn't do this. Everyone else could do this, but I couldn't. Like, what can I do to like better myself, better this situation that I'm in? And I started being like really down to earth about this. And then how I started recovering, I tell them about like my recovery process, that I realized that I have to do this, and that even though it was very difficult for me to get back on track every single day, because there were periods of times where my voice, for example, did not work at all, and I thought that it would never work again, I would never be able to sing again, I still continued to push myself until I really got to where I am. And then I share my videos, I share myself on stage, and at first I posted my first video where I sang and you could hear my voice behind it, but it was also my first time on stage. I was also nervous and I was still recovering, and yet I still decided to go on that stage, knowing that something might happen, such as cracking or something else. And after that did happen, at one point, I still uploaded the video telling people about my whole story, because you need to start somewhere. And I wanted to show people that I started somewhere and I am continuing this, and even if I have already fallen to this place, there's only up from here. And I know that people just hear all these quotes a lot, but I have lived through these quotes, and I try to actually make
Is there a motto that sits well with you that you use often?
Yes. So actually there are two of them.
Okay.
One of them is I don't try to just say or give people like motivation or give people advice through what I say or inspiration. I try to be the inspiration through my actions and what I do, so that they see I'm not just all talk, that I am walking the walk. I am doing this, and I'm trying to be the best that I can be, and they see this, and when they meet up with me, they could see this drive, or like how I speak with them, and that it's really on a deep personal level that I try to connect with them. So yes, I try to be like this role model, this inspiration, not just of what I say, but of what I do, because that's very important. That's also why I was in things like Women in Leadership, which I thought was very important to me. And I have been volunteering a lot in different places to as well help people. And I've been helping people since a very young age. The second motto that I like to say is that when I'm trying to find my own happiness right now, which is in these career paths that I'm starting, and they've been going well for me. They've been going really well for me. And so while I'm trying to find my happiness, I'm trying to help others find their happiness. And it's a way, it's like we're building each other, right? When I speak to people, I build them, but in a way they also build me, because it allows us to connect on this level of support, where you have this conversation and then you can think back to it and remember, like, this person really supported me, and wow, like this talk has all of a sudden opened up my mind to do something I have not even thought of doing or have always been afraid of doing.
Do you remember the first time that you made an impact on someone with your speaking and your motivational skills?
Oh, the first time, that's very hard to talk about, because I have done it many times through the years. Through the years, since I was a child, I would always say something that would either, like, people used to call me like optimistic, or I would give advice all the time. But I can give a recent more example that is really fresh in my mind, because it happened just 2 weeks ago, actually. So I was meeting up with one of my friends who always wanted to, you know, speak to me and see how I was doing, and finally we had class together. We haven't seen each other since first year. And so she started to talk about how she was always trying to find all these jobs. She's been going to all these interviews, and she hasn't really been getting any. But at the same time, you know, when a person is talking, you can't just only listen to what they're saying, but you also have to, like, look behind the meaning of what they want to say, of what they actually mean. Because sometimes what they think is the problem is not the problem, but it's actually what they're really feeling. And you need to understand that from the person. And that's how, and once you get this understanding, you'll understand how to speak with this person and exactly what you need to say in order to help them. So she started talking about how she hasn't been getting through these interviews, and then eventually we started having our conversations. We had a 4-hour-long conversation, and it was me talking a lot, but it was also me listening about what exactly. And eventually I have come to a conclusion that she was actually not really happy with her situation. And the reason I came to that conclusion is because I started talking about myself and how happy I am with the career path I have finally chosen. And she thought that she has chosen a good career path. But then she's like, I want to be as happy like as you are. You're doing all these crazy things, and I can't believe that you're doing these. Like, you're going to Schulich business school, and now you're just completely going into the arts and entertainment, and it's going really well for you, and you seem just so happy. Like, I wish I could do that too. And I'm like, well, you can do that. You just need to take the first steps, right? I mean, I'm doing this, you can too. I've also had to, like, let's say, condition my parents to accept me, but what I told her is this: they see that I have this drive, that I really want to do this, and that it really is making me happy. And if you can convince your parents that you really want to do this, that you really want to pursue some other career, they would completely understand you. They would, as long as you have the plan, as long as you have the drive. And it is possible. And she's Asian, and you know how Asian parents are, right? They're very strict all the time.
There's a culture, there's a tradition, there's ways to be, everybody has a different culture.
Exactly, and same with like Russian too, like you have to be this. But parents are understanding, and they would definitely understand if you really talk to them, if they see you like being depressed through all these years, being in this, let's say, school or trying to pursue this career, and all of a sudden you talking with such happiness about this thing that you know you're gonna do, they will definitely let you, because they could see you being successful in that thing. So I started to talk about all of this, and I told her that she can. And then we realized that what she really wants to do, I made her open up in a way where she started saying, I want to go traveling. I really want to travel. That is what I want to do, and most likely to Hong Kong. And I'm like, well, you should. If you want to get a job there, you should. You should tell your parents, even if they're saying that that's unlikely, you should do it. She comes back to me a week later saying this. I was quite surprised, but at the same time, not really, because her end goal was traveling. So she tells me that she applied for a job at a cruise ship, which is completely different than marketing, because she's in marketing. And so then she comes back to me, and I was really surprised with what she had to say. She decided to travel and actually got a job on a cruise ship, which is completely different from her original career point. And I was just very happy for her, and also that I was able to make a good impact in her life, so that she's actually happy now and that she's following her heart, which is what I want anybody to do.
So that's actually amazing. Amazing that you lifted somebody up and you taught them how to follow their dreams and go against the grain and do what they want to do. But right now, I think we should take a break. So while we go get a cup of tea and chat, we'll be back. Hi and welcome back to the show Girls Talk, and I'm Harjeet, your host, and we're discussing motivation with Ilana. And the story that you left off at, Ilana, was helping a girl to overcome her fear of following her dreams, and she wanted to be as happy as you. So culturally, women are subordinate to men a lot. They're being subordinate to men. Do you find that was an issue in helping motivate her or females in general?
Well, I do speak to a lot of males and females, and in the end, I just give myself and my stories as examples, and also my weaknesses too, or what made me go through all these. And in the end, it's actually all equal. Of course, this girl did, because she was a female, did go through this, and I know a lot of women like that. But in the end, if you allow them to open up their mind and be like serious with their parents, you sit them down and then you say, this is what I want to do, because they're open that it is a possibility, then it will happen. A lot of times they're just afraid to confront or something else, but it takes work. It's a relationship between the child and the parent. You can't just have the parents like specifically just completely follow. You need to understand that your parents and you, it's almost, you're a family, but it's also like, you need to understand it's almost like a business relationship too, as well, right? You're partners, you're all an entity, you're all supporting this family as a whole. So what will make your family whole or rich or successful? And then give them that this is going to make their family successful. You need to understand, a lot of children are just afraid to speak back to their parents. I know men who are afraid to speak back to their parents, and they finally have spoken with their parents, and again, they did change their other career path.
Okay, so I'd like to ask you, Ilana, too, talking about that. she was in a place where she hadn't quite given up. But have you ever met anybody that has given up, or if you haven't, what would you say to them to motivate them?
Well, I actually have met someone who has given up, and this was actually a homeless man. There was a period of time where I was part of Face of Humanity, and we were helping, giving food to homeless people. So I did strike a few conversations with the homeless men. And there was one who was, completely given up, and he actually wanted to speak. Not all of them want to speak back. And here I was telling him about everything I do, because he's like, in a way you kind of feel like when they speak to, it's like maybe a person is not working hard enough if they have like a phone or something else. That's what they believe, right? Well, I'm not in every homeless man's mindset. So I assumed that this homeless man, like maybe I felt it, that he had a problem where every other person might have been doing just one thing, working easy, and yet getting all the success. But I wanted to show him that I work hard as hell. I work really hard to be where I can be. I don't sleep either. And I do all these 7 different things. And I started talking to him about myself, how I might be dressed like this, I might have this type of phone, but I don't have it easy. It's because I'm really, really trying hard. And he realized that too. And he started saying that he had a dream of getting a license. He was also like an Aboriginal, and they don't have the best life because of what their communities, of what's going on. And he's like, well, I was thinking about like getting a license and other things, and maybe starting like some car driving business or something. I can't recall anymore. And I'm like, go ahead, do it, because it will lead you to success. And actually, it's funny how we're talking about this, because around 3 days ago, he did add me on Instagram eventually, because I gave him my name. And he's like, he eventually has a phone now, and he like texted me like, good job on all the good work, like I'm so happy to see with your success. And then he started talking about his own success. So now he did get a license, he is working. He said that he's been sober and he hasn't even smoked since last time I saw him. Like he quit completely doing all these things. And he has also is trying to get like a truck license and start driving around in the USA as well. So these are his dreams, these are his path that he wants to follow, and he's really working hard. And so we are sending each other messages like, yes, let's both keep on working hard, let's keep this up, let's be successful together.
That's amazing. So he went from a place in his life where he'd totally given up. He was seeing how people had it easy or thought they had it easy. And you put him in a place now where you are motivating each other and you're pushing each other towards your dreams.
Yes.
I just want to mention in that story, you touched up on Instagram. I noticed social media is a big part of the new generation that's coming up. And I just want to know how that's influenced you. Do you feel that social media can help you to motivate others more than if you didn't have access to it? Or can you even imagine a world without social media?
That's a good question. Well, I can say that for me, it has, because people can see what I'm doing and then they contact me through that. If they didn't see what I was doing, my pathway that I've built and how I'm really trying to do what I can and reach for my happiness, then they wouldn't ask me about it. They might not be they might not be even interested in seeing me at school or something else and knowing more about me unless they hear me in a rumor or maybe overhear a conversation, and then it would be a lot harder for us to get in touch or understand like who needs help or kind of what they want. So because they see what I'm doing, they contact me and start conversations with me. Of course, right now I just do it everywhere. I go everywhere. I can meet someone in Starbucks and start talking about something or myself, and in the end our conversation ends with some kind of lesson. Either I'm teaching them a lesson or something we both learn together through our conversation. So social media is a big part, I do believe, and eventually I'm actually considering releasing maybe perhaps some kind of podcasts or something else to continue this. And maybe if people start commenting something, I'll start figuring out ways of how I can help them in my next podcast. And people in this age, with all this technology and all this stuff, you see a lot of them are having a lot of these issues and worries and stress that is new and haven't been done before. And everyone is all of a sudden doing so many things and trying to just survive in this world. And I feel like we really need to like upkeep and support each other, which is very important in this age. So that is what I'm trying to do.
Well, I'm so happy to hear all those stories that you told us about motivating people. And I'm glad that social media helps with that too. You've definitely taught me a lot of stories from today. And I hope that you can continue on and teach people and motivate individuals. And keep me posted how it goes with that gentleman who's striving to get his license.
Oh, his second license actually.
Yeah. That'd be good. So thank you for watching Girls Talk. We're going to make it a wrap right now, and we hope you enjoyed the show.